Hey, what is up, everybody? Justin Sardi, co-founder and CEO of TubeSift here. And today we're doing another one of our expert interviews. And we brought my buddy Shash on the call, and he's going to be talking all about some e-commerce stuff. Now, he is with the Links Digital Agency, but I'll let him get into that in a little bit here. But thanks for joining us today, man.
Yeah, glad to be on here. You're one of the OGs in the space, so always glad to, chat with you and be on here.
For sure, for sure. So yeah, I mean, if you want to just start by doing a quick intro to yourself, telling us a little bit about you, your agency, and even just how you got started doing YouTube ads, and then we'll dive in.
Awesome. So basically, I got started with YouTube ads around 6 years ago when a friend of mine actually reached out to me, and he basically asked me to help run his YouTube ads. I was already doing some SEO stuff for him. That's what I used to do. And this friend, his name was Greg O'Gallagher, is basically a big fitness influencer, and the ads worked super well. Scaled them to a 5K a day spend. They're making like 10 to 15 grand a day in revenue. So it was very good first experience. And honestly, I was just lucky because I had a really great offer, really great ads. I was just a lucky ads manager that, and I didn't even know YouTube ads. It was literally my first time ever running paid ads. So I was very like right place, right time. And then I got into it, started doing it for other clients, found out that, okay, it's not that easy in all situations. And yeah, now we're running an agency, work with a lot of e-commerce and info product clients. And actually, one of the things I wanted to talk about today, because I think it's not talked about enough, is YouTube ads for e-commerce, because people ask questions about that, and there's not really great knowledge out there. There's not really high-level information out there on that.
Yeah, man, I've noticed that a lot. Like everybody always asks about e-com. I mean, it's a huge space in the or huge thing in the online space. So it makes sense. And most people are just used to the whole Facebook thing where they can, toss up a quick 10, 15-second video, whatever it may be. And they hope that'll work for YouTube. But that's just not the case at completely different platforms. And I feel like a lot of people haven't really cracked the ecom code even. So super stoked to kind of hear what you've been doing in that space and get some pointers from you over there.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, I think the first thing that's really important to talk about is what kind of brand would do well, right? What kind of product, brand, etc. So when I look at e-commerce on YouTube, there's a few big differences from Facebook. Number one is you need higher acceptable cost per acquisition, right? A cost per acquisition of like $10 may sometimes work on Facebook, but if on YouTube, what we've generally found is that you want to be able to pay, at the very low end, $30 for a new customer, really comfortably at least $40 for a customer. So usually, if you can afford to pay $40 for a customer or higher, then you're in a good place. And that's where, low ticket ecom isn't my favorite thing with YouTube. I like the products that are a bit more expensive, or if they are lower ticket on the front end, they have some sort of back end where you don't really care too much about the far front end profitability. And this just comes down to the fact that while YouTube is an amazing platform for scale, it's not that amazing for very low ticket stuff. It's really good for higher ticket products and for really scaling them up to higher spends. So for example, I think the highest we've scaled on ecom is 25K a day in revenue, which was funny enough during COVID times. This is the year of the e-commerce boom. And yeah, so there's just huge volume, and you can just go up in volume as long as you have the right kind of product and fit. So the first thing is a $40 acceptable cost per purchase. So you should be able to spend $40 to acquire a new customer and still make those numbers work for your brand. You could get away with lower if you have really high conversion rates, but it's just one of those things where, if we're taking on a client, we want them to be over that. Otherwise, there's a lower chance of success. The second thing is you need a high conversion rate on your store, right? So whatever, every click you get, at least 3% should convert into a customer. Like 2% is possibly doable if it's a much higher priced product, but typically 3% is a good conversion rate that we see for really optimized stores. It is possible to get lower, conversion rates and still be profitable if the product is priced the right way. And yeah, so the end gist of it is, if you're trying to basically make 30-cent clicks work in the US market on YouTube, it's probably not going to work out. You do need like a higher price product and be able to have a converting store. And once you have those pieces, you have kind of like a moat, because a lot of these smaller like drop shippers that are just starting out, selling like $10 kind of gadgets or jewelry, they're not going to be able to compete for the same traffic. So you're essentially able to scale much faster because of that moat. And then the second part of it's obviously the creative. So what we found with YouTube and e-commerce is the creative is something that you need to put a lot of effort into. It's 80% of it, right? So a big issue I see is that a lot of e-commerce brands undervalue video, right? Usually if you're at the 7-figure mark or the 8-figure mark, you should be okay with investing in some sort of video ads, because number one, obviously you can use them for YouTube. Number two, you can use them on Facebook. We found consistently that the video ads we create for our clients outperformed their Facebook image ads. It's even for info products. A lot of our scripts we create for our clients, they do better than our clients use them for their Facebook advertising. And number three, you can use video for your brand assets, for your Instagram, for your website. One of our clients actually, they put one of the video that we kind of produced with them on their homepage as a kind of a homepage video. So that's a big part where you have to be comfortable with quality video. You can't really get away with super low quality stuff on YouTube. People are on YouTube, they're watching high quality video. They're watching really interesting kind of vlogs. It's a much more video oriented platform as opposed to Facebook, where you're scrolling through the news feed. So if you see like an image ad, or if you see like a, kind of a slideshow video, it's still going to engage you because you're competing with text. But on YouTube, you're competing with, people who know their stuff with video. You're competing with YouTubers whose job it is to literally kind of make the visual version of crack cocaine for, your viewing pleasure. So you have to grab their attention with a well-produced video. You can get away with lower quality kind of stuff like voiceover videos as a testing mechanism, right? Like you can get away with taking raw footage together, editing it together, maybe adding some simple stuff as a testing mechanism. But what we found, the key to really scaling on YouTube is really creating a video that, number one, is kind of a live action video that shows the product, because we're talking about a physical product, right? So we're talking about something where people automatically associate basically the quality of the video with the quality of the product, right? Like when it's the same thing when you're going, let's say you're walking down the main street in your city and you see a really nice patio, a really nice restaurant, and then you see some like ramshackle, like really low budget place. If you're probably, if you have the budget for it, you're going to go for the place that looks nicer. Same things with products, right? Like if you have the option between choosing a product that, has a video for it that just looks super professional, you're going to go for that. And the higher quality video also will display the better characteristics. And then you have to script it right. You have to make sure the formula and so on is set up properly, and you have to have strong call to actions. So a very strong call to action is like a key, where you actually tell them in the video, hey, go click on this website to get this product. Now I don't want to go like for hours about this, because obviously we want to keep this timely, but with the videos, it's important where, if you've got a brand that's doing 7 figures or 8 figures, you should be okay with, at the minimum, testing with a budget of $4,000 to $5,000 on the videos themselves. So 4 to 5K, you can get some decent videos made for that budget. And then if something starts working well, then you should be okay with spending more, just because it's such a huge brand asset. And quite honestly, there have been a lot of e-com companies that have done extremely well with YouTube, but every single one of them, Dollar Beard Club, Poo-Pourri, these all got videos done by guys like the Harmon brothers. I think one of the latest ones I've seen is for a skincare brand, men's skincare. I think it was, and then a sunglasses brand. I forget their name. It was
William Painter was the guy who did the sunglasses one. I was actually working with a client in the fitness space, and they like kind of modeled that type of ad where he's, walking through and doing all that. That ad is killing it. Like it's doing amazing things, because it's very engaging story. Like people want to watch that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the William Painter ad, for example, I'm pretty sure they did it. They did it like kind of in-house, in the sense that they had a video team, but if you look at the production value, it's done really well. And then people are coming in with really low quality like videos that they got from their dropshipping supplier, and it's just not gonna work the same way. It may work to some level of success, and I've seen videos like that actually do well, but they're the exception to the rule. Like when I see the the videos that do really well, it's usually the ones there that had a lot of effort put into them, right? It's a video platform, so it's pretty important to just be okay with understanding that a big part of your kind of spend is going to be video. So usually the way I think about it is a certain percentage of your, let's say you get your ad program on YouTube started, you should be investing a certain percentage of your profits back into more videos.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, testing's so important, even if it's just like swapping out the hook part of the video. I mean, that can make a huge difference. I've seen a lot of people running ads with, multiple hooks in the beginning, with the rest being the same, and just that slight tweak in the beginning has made all the difference as well. So just like different variations.
Yeah, it's actually crazy. Like I think for one of our clients, Indestructible Shoes, like they had, I think, just one hook and one variation. We cut up like 6 different. One of them just did better than the rest, and we ended up spending like, hundreds of thousands on that one ad. So it's kind of crazy. It's just you have to definitely reach that level where you kind of have a video that grabs people's attention. But at that point, then you want to test it. You want to have different edits, different variations, try a longer version, shorter version. And then that's kind of the key of it, right? Like you want to have both quality and quantity. And the cool thing about doing those quick video edits, it literally does not cost you much more, because all you need is a video editor to go in and make those changes. And you actually shoot the video in the way where you shoot different hooks, and then you have a different body, and then you may, if you want, you can even have different calls to actions and so on.
Nice. So real quick question for you. Like, I'm sure you may have seen that, what was it? It was like Lit Mobile or something like that. They ran like tens of millions of views through a few different variations, just because I was kind of following them as I saw their ads everywhere. It was a little like cell phone bank charger. It was actually a pretty, I don't want to call it a low quality video, but it was basically this dude's hands, right? And he was basically doing like an unboxing video. He's like, hey, this company just sent me this product. Let's see what it's all about. And like opens it, and he's literally just running through the features of this thing. Have you seen that, just out of curiosity, have you seen those kinds of like unboxing videos working, or have you ever tested any of those things?
So we've tested a couple of unboxing videos. The thing is, the ones we tested were from influencers, so they weren't like tightly scripted.
Gotcha.
We actually are about to test unboxing videos right now with that are scripted from scratch. Because the problem is, if you take videos that are already pre-existing from an influencer, it's not really scripted to convert. So those didn't perform amazingly well, but we do have unboxing footage in some of our ads.
Okay, yeah, I was just curious on that, just because I saw those ads everywhere, and I was actually just talking on one of our other blog posts about how to make a video without like being on camera, and that was one of the examples I used. And when I had originally checked, it had maybe like 100,000 views. Last time I checked, it had like 27 million on one of them. I was like, whoa, this must be working.
That's a really great idea. Yeah, I like that. Unboxing is definitely on the list of stuff we want to test. And it's easy because it's like you can literally hire somebody to do it for like a couple $100.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those low effort, high ROI things that you can do. And that's the cool thing with the video ads as well. You don't necessarily need to like test with a huge budget. You can do things where you take voiceover, like a voiceover artist. You take the raw footage of your product, maybe even unboxing footage, and you kind of combine them. So we've actually had really good success with voiceover footage combined with product footage, because then the voice actually kind of tells them exactly what's going on and takes them through the product, while the obviously the footage demonstrates the product. But the best results we've seen is always been with somebody on camera actually showing them. But obviously you don't need to start with that, but that's where you want to end up.
That makes sense, because that's the kind of videos people are used to watching on YouTube, right? I mean, you're trying to match what people are used to on that platform. So everything you said totally makes sense there. And so like one other question I have for you, what's your typical process you go about like targeting these types of, like, how do you target your ideal audience? Are you using like in-market audiences? Like what exactly, what do you start with, I guess?
So starting with usually a mix of keywords, custom audiences, so based on URLs or based on, basically Google search terms. We obviously placements is something you can do, and in market for sure. And then as we start scaling, we start really trying everything. What we've discovered is different accounts will do well with different things. So sometimes we've had in-market work really well, especially in e-com, in-market has worked really well. Sometimes we've had no targeting work well, like literally no targeting.
Like straight up broad.
Just demographics, like,
yeah.
It's actually, once an account hits a certain point where it has a ton of data, we will start running no targeting. And at that point, that actually can work. And it's actually been some of our biggest campaigns where we spent like $3,000 or $4,000 a day on e-commerce stuff just on no targeting. And right now we have a campaign for an info product that we're running, and we're spending like $1,500 a day on this, literally no targeting.
You're using like campaign goals and having Google optimize for like specific conversion actions when you're doing that?
Yeah, usually it's target CPA.
Okay.
But for this info product, it's maximize conversions. So we use target CPA and maximize conversions a lot. And sometimes for some weird reason, like maximize conversions, even though in most accounts it doesn't work better, in some accounts it works better. Like in this particular account, every time we've tried to use target CPA for our biggest campaigns, it just results have gone down. While in other accounts, like target CPA just consistently outperforms maximize conversions. So like it's so much of this is dependent on the product, the price point of the product, the conversions you're optimizing for. For example, if I was optimizing for, let's say, a $6,000 sale, right? Let's say a super high ticket info product. No targeting, even if it gets cheap leads, it may not get you the best leads. On the other hand, for ecom, like, pretty fast if it's getting you sales or not, right? Like, a couple of $100 in spend, it's working or it's not working. On the other hand, for a $6,000 product, like to really test that, you'd have to spend, like $5,000 plus or something. So yeah, it's one of those things where it depends on the context. But the key thing is you kind of have to test a lot. I know this sounds obvious, but you have to test a lot, and you want to start with the more narrow audiences first. So like, keywords, placements, maybe some in-market ROI, the custom audiences, and then, you start expanding to affinity topic audiences. You eventually like trying no targeting at all, which is, that's true scale.
Nice. I'm gonna have to try that. I'm doing some consulting with a buddy of mine, and we were optimizing for leads, which is what you were saying a little bit earlier. Like, but then ultimately their goal is to get somebody on a sales call. So we actually stopped optimizing for leads once we got some data and started optimizing for just getting people on the call. And we were able to cut the cost per call in half, and the quality is so much better. It's crazy. So,
nice.
So
yeah, that's also something to try. Like, try optimizing for a higher level event instead of a lower level event. So for example, usually with YouTube ads, people optimize for like leads and sales. Or for ecom, it will be like checkouts, add to carts, and purchases. So try both. In some cases, we've let's say stopped optimizing for leads and tried to optimize for calls, and actually backfired on us, where like it didn't actually work that well. But in some cases, it actually does work better. Usually, you just need to have a lot of volume if you're just going to optimize for kind of an event that happens less.
Nice. Cool, man. Well, thanks a bunch for your time, and for, I don't want to keep you on here too long. I could go on all day, but yeah, man, like if people wanted to reach out to you and, talk with you about, helping get their ads going, all that kind of stuff, let us know where.
Yeah, so a couple places, linksdigitalagency.com. So I guess we'll put a link in there or something. Yeah. And then I got a YouTube channel as well where you can watch videos and learn for free. And then you can also hit me up on my personal profile if you need anything.
Cool. Yeah, and we'll drop links below this video for all that. And Eddie, thanks a bunch for taking some time out, shedding some light on that. I know a lot of people don't talk about e-com, so I'm really excited to get this out to all our people.
Awesome. No worries at all. Cheers.
All right. Later.